Hi, Paratime Weather Meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Friday, June 18th. A lot to talk about this morning. We have a tropical wave over the Gulf of Mexico. We have a severe weather threat up across the Midwest and Ohio Valley. And we have an unseasonably cool blast of air headed towards the northeastern quadrant of the nation by later Tuesday into the middle part of next week. We'll talk about all of that over the next few minutes here. Let's start off by looking at the Storm Prediction Center probability of severe weather later today. And again, it's quite high across the Midwest into the Ohio Valley, right in this region right here. There's some vigorous energy in the upper part of the atmosphere dropping south and east from the northern plains into the Great Lakes region, and that will be enough to juice the atmosphere to provide enough upward motion for the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms. This whole area will kind of translate to the east overnight tonight into the day on Saturday, and it certainly can be some strong thunderstorms that make their way all the way from the Midwest into the Mid-Atlantic region later on tonight and during the day on Saturday. And that threat for strong storms will really exist from about the D.C. area all the way up through the northeastern part of the country. Again, that's later tonight and Saturday. Today's severe weather threat highest across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. Well, let's now shift to the tropical system, and we do have a tropical system right now over the Gulf of Mexico. Is generally maintaining a northerly track. It is fighting some shear. There's plenty of wind shear across the Gulf of Mexico that will certainly inhibit its chances for any kind of significant intensification. Having said that, it's quite likely to reach tropical storm status by the time it makes landfall later tonight across the southern, probably the south central part of Louisiana. And if it does reach tropical storm status, it would become named Claudette. Here's the position right now. Again, basically a northerly track over the next several hours, likely to intensify into tropical storm status. Again, it would be Claudette making landfall later on tonight across the southern part of Louisiana, south central Louisiana. Most of its heavy rainfall is on the right side of the track, so that puts the threat of the heaviest rain across eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and ultimately into Alabama. Once it makes landfall, it'll kind of tend to turn to the north and east and produce some heavy rainfall into the day on Sunday from the Tennessee Valley across the southeastern part of the nation. And by the time we get to Monday, it could have an impact right here in the southern part of the Mid-Atlantic region with some heavy rainfall, maybe some gusty winds. Could even intensify a little bit as it approaches the Mid-Atlantic coastline. Again, here we're talking about later Sunday into Monday across the Carolinas and southeastern part of Virginia. Well, before we take a look at the surface forecast maps from the 6Z GFS model run, let's look at the temperature anomalies at 850 millibars, because really this is the third big story. We have the severe weather threat today across the Midwest and Ohio Valley that can extend into the Mid-Atlantic Northeast later tonight and on Saturday. We have, of course, the tropical system over the Gulf of Mexico, quite likely to become a tropical storm later today as it approaches the southern Louisiana coastline by later tonight. And the third big story is the upcoming cool blast for the Great Lakes and northeastern part of the nation, the Mid-Atlantic region. Strong cold front arrives on Tuesday, very likely to have some strong thunderstorms and maybe some heavy downpours associated with it as it plunges into the plows into the eastern seaboard. And following that, a much cooler air mass, very comfortable air arrives to the Great Lakes, the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast for Tuesday night, Wednesday into Thursday. Let's move forward here over the next several days here, and here we are by tomorrow morning. By this time, tropical system down over the deep south, probably over Louisiana, turning to the north and east. Again, it'll have an impact with its heaviest rainfall on its eastern side across eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and then Alabama. Meanwhile, we have some reflection of that system by the time we get to Sunday morning, with copious amounts of clouds and still some lingering rainfall across the southeast. Therefore, some cooler than normal conditions. And upstream here, we're looking at that next cold blast, and this is a significant change from what is normal this time of the year. Here we are on pretty much the first day of summer, June 21st on Monday, and way below normal across the upper part of the Midwest and northern plains. And this will be a strong frontal system by the time we get to Monday night, going into the day on Tuesday, approaching the eastern states. It will have showers and thunderstorms along and just ahead of that frontal system, maybe even some heavy rain. We'll have to watch if some of the moisture from the tropical system actually get intertwined, kind of absorbed by that incoming frontal system. Could even cause some enhanced rainfall up across the northeastern part of the nation. New England, after this tropical system moves off the mid-Atlantic coastline, could certainly turn to the north and kind of combine with that frontal system to produce some heavy rainfall later Tuesday up across New England. Let's move forward here, and this cool air shot just floods the Great Lakes, the northeastern part of the nation by Tuesday night, going into the day on Wednesday. This is the Wednesday morning forecast map. At the same time, the northeastern part of the nation experiences another comfortable air mass. It remains very warm out across the western U.S., where strong high pressure ridging is generating some extreme heat out in that part of the nation, and it certainly stays above normal there over the next several days. Well, let's now take a look at the surface forecast maps. Two areas of interest right now in terms of precipitation. One, over the upper part of the Midwest. Let me just get rid of this cursor here. Right here in this region, right here over the upper part of the Midwest, the Great Lakes region. This is some strong thunderstorm activity. Could even become severe later on today, anywhere from Illinois across Indiana and Ohio, maybe even western Pennsylvania into the late day and nighttime hours. Meanwhile, down in the Gulf of Mexico, where there's again a lot of wind shear inhibiting significant intensification of this system, some rainfall, and the heaviest rain is just on the east side of that storm track. We can see right here, this is the afternoon forecast map. The system's right about in this region right here with the heaviest rainfall just to the east, and then it probably makes landfall during the evening hours later on tonight, maybe midnight or so, across south central part of Louisiana, and that heavy rainfall then starts to turn to the north and east into the southeastern U.S. Here's some residual strong to severe thunderstorm activity that we'll have to watch in the overnight hours as it moves to the east into the mid-Atlantic region, and all day on Saturday in this part of the nation. We'll have to watch for some potential strong thunderstorms, and here's a reflection of that, the Saturday evening forecast map. Again, severe weather threat today from Illinois to Indiana, Ohio, and later on tonight into tomorrow. That shifts to the east to the mid-Atlantic region and the northeastern part of the nation by tomorrow evening. The tropical system that could become Claudette will be overland and perhaps intensify a little bit as it pushes some heavy rainfall up across Alabama and Georgia, and then into the Carolinas by the time we get to Sunday morning. And then upstream, we have that next upper level low, and that becomes a real big story. This is going to be a real strong cold front by the time we get to Monday, pushing into the Great Lakes region. A lot of moisture in this part of the nation on Monday, partly as a result of the remains of the tropical system, and that moisture could get absorbed by this frontal system and kind of juice up the atmosphere and enhance this frontal system on Monday night and Tuesday. This is the Monday night forecast map, and again, a lot of tropical moisture up along the eastern seaboard at this time, because that system, the tropical system, does head towards the mid-Atlantic coastline, does not go out to sea too quickly. In fact, a lot of that moisture could get wrapped up even as far north and east as New England as this strong cold front approaches. Here we are now by late Monday night into the day on Tuesday. Quite an active front, and with some heavy showers and thunderstorms. Finally clears the coast by the time we get to Wednesday, and we have a nice high pressure system moving into the east at the same time. We're comfortable here in the mid-Atlantic, the northeast, the Great Lakes. It remains quite hot out across the interior western part of the nation. So a very active weather pattern over the next 5 or 6 days or so. And it ends with another cool blast for the northeastern quadrant of the nation. So we'll closely monitor the tropical activity later today and tonight going into the weekend, and the severe weather threat later today and tonight and going into the weekend. That's it for now. For ParatonWeather.com, I'm meteorologist Paul Dorian.